24 Chinese state-owned enterprises were added to the entity list by the U.S. Department of Commerce on Wednesday. This list now includes China Communications Construction Company and some of its subsidiaries. The reason cited for the licensing restrictions by the U.S. State Department is that the company indulged in malign activities in the South China Sea. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said China Communications Construction Company led the destructive dredging of the PRC's South China Sea outposts, and is also one of the leading contractors used by Beijing in its global One Belt, One Road strategy. The company and its subsidiaries have engaged in corruption, predatory financing, environmental destruction, and other abuses across the world. The move has drawn a sharp reaction from Beijing, with the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson, Zhao Lijian, saying that China will take firm measures to resolutely safeguard the legitimate interests of domestic enterprises and individuals. He also added that the U.S. action has grossly interfered in China's internal affairs, violated international law and basic norms of international relations, and is completely hegemonic and power politics. The reaction is sharp because it is clear that subjecting Communications Construction Company to specific license requirements for the export, re-export, and transfer of specified items could also hit China where it hurts most, that is, the Belt and Road Initiative. This could have a bearing on the Belt and Road Initiative projects, because Washington, D.C. could exert pressure on other countries not to deal with the sanctions hit Chinese companies. Strategic analysts are of the opinion that China is passing off these projects as infrastructure development initiatives that will only benefit the host country, but are indeed nothing but strategic assets. The risk of many of the countries being caught in a debt trap is now most real. In fact, the US-China Economic and Security Review Commission in 2018 had also raised some red flags, clearly stating that strategic interests are central to BRI project, even though the Chinese government denies that BRI project advances its geopolitical ambitions. It had also said that, despite Beijing's rhetoric about BRI project being open and inclusive, Chinese state-owned enterprises are winning the lion's share of contracts for BRI projects, the China Communications Construction Company being one of the biggest beneficiaries, as is stated now in the State Department release. As per details on its own website, the China Communications Construction Company is the largest port construction and design company in China, a leading company in road and bridge construction and design, a leading railway construction company, and the largest dredging company in China, and the second largest dredging company in terms of dredging capacity in the world. From the Gwadar deep water port in Pakistan to a port city project in Colombo, China Communications Construction Company has several strategic overseas projects around India and the Indo-Pacific region. In fact, apart from the US, even the Australian federal government is set to pass a legislation next week that can scrap any agreements by state governments with a foreign country. The recent decision to place 24 Chinese companies, mostly state-owned enterprises, including the massive China Communications Construction Company, in the entities list, is a logical step forward. These companies have been serving as the implementation arm, both in South China Sea and BRI project. If nothing else, it would certainly act as a speed bump in Chinese ambition of global dominance. A possible squeeze on Xi Jinping's pet project, Belt and Road Initiative, has for now only drawn a sharp reaction. But the sheer significance of the move is unlikely to allow Beijing to sit still, as it has the potential to prevent it from looking out for bigger emerging markets for trade and expanding its military reach and geopolitical influence.